welcome back to the channel. It's Guest here. Good morning. I've not done a video for a while. I've been ill through most of December, or if I weren't ill, then children were ill or my wife were ill. So that put a downer on things, and I've just kind of lost my mojo a little bit with wargaming in general. Just that enthusiasm has gone, that spark has gone, which it tends to do now and again. But I'm sure it'll come back. I'll go through periods where, I'm just not interested, or my interests go somewhere else, like they have at the minute. I'm kind of all in on to video games again at the minute, PlayStation and Switch, Nintendo Switch. So that's consuming me at the minute. But I'm sure my enthusiasm will come back with time, as it usually does. So what I thought I'd do is just get some attack on the table and take a video and see if that helps. So what I'm going to show you today is my Flames of War American Force. As you can see here, I've got the American D-Day book, which is the latest one for version 4. I also have the unit cards, and I have the airborne dice tin with the markers in as well. Now I've kind of got my American forces kind of split up into two separate forces. The main force, and the one that I started collecting Americans with, is the airborne. I based them off of the 101st Airborne Division, because Band of Brothers. Everyone's seen Band of Brothers, right? It's an amazing show. I love it. Watched it as a kid, and just I've loved the 101st Airborne Division ever since, really. So that's my main force, but I also added a bit of armour, some M4 Shermans to the force and bits and bats, to potentially make a second force, a second armoured force. But let's have a look at what we've got at the minute. I don't know if I can fit it all in here, actually. So yeah, that's my American Flames of War force, or forces, and we'll take a closer look and I'll talk you through what I've got. So basically, all this infantry here is what I consider my main force, my airborne force. So front and centre here, we have my commanding officer, if it focuses. There we go. So as you can see, I've put 4 guys on this base, just to distinguish it from, the other command bases. So he's the CO and he's 2IC. Then we have 3 airborne platoons, the commander in the front, 6 bases of infantry, and at the back with the 60mm mortar and 2 bazooka teams either side of that. So I have 3 of those. That's one, that's the second, and that's the third. So that's the bulk of the airborne infantry. And then moving on to the support weapons, we have 4 57mm anti-tank guns, and behind them 4 75mm pack howitzers. I bought those guys off eBay, I believe. Here we have 4 81mm mortars, and basically my airborne guys don't come out without these. I find them very, 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 very useful, very helpful, and I take them everywhere I go, basically. Here we have 6 light machine gun teams, 4 50 caliber anti-aircraft teams. As you can see, that the gun is actually on a tripod so that they can aim upwards at the planes. These aren't actually in version 4 as yet, and I'm not sure they will be but yeah, got these during version 3. Lovely models. 4 heavy machine gun teams, 4 airborne reconnaissance teams in jeeps. This is the new Battlefront airborne jeeps that they just released last year. Nice little kit. At the back is 6 howitzers, 105mm howitzers, I believe. 6 of those in support. And 2 P-47 Thunderbolt planes. So that's like what I consider the primary army, the primary airborne force for my Americans, Flames of War. But then I've got, yeah, a few bits of armour that I've picked up here and there. So these 12 tanks here are M4 Shermans with 75mm gun. The 3 behind them are the M4 with the 105mm howitzer gun. The barrel is a little bit shorter and much stubbier than the 75mm. That's how you tell the difference. It's a little bit hard from tabletop distance to tell, but yeah, I should have probably done something to make them stand out a little bit more. But yeah, that's the 105mm howitzer. I have 5 half tracks, and if I'm like running armour as my main force, I'll sometimes use these as well as the paratroopers that I've got, and just use them as an armoured rifle platoon, because I ain't got any normal infantry. The only guys I've got is the airborne paratroopers. But yeah, I sometimes use these as the armoured rifle platoon. Behind those we have 6 M4s with the 76mm gun. So you get a little bit more punch with those. They can threaten tigers and panthers from a distance. And behind them we have 4 M10s. These guys are 3D printed by my Uncle Nige. Thanks, Nige. They look pretty good for 3D printing. Again, these guys can threaten the German heavy tanks. And then behind those we have 3. These are the, I think it's T30 75mm GMC, I think is the name. Unfortunately, I can't use these in the D-Day book either, but I bought these to use with the Fortress Europe book. But I guess that these are like a more mid-war piece of kit. But yeah, if we ever play a game using Fortress Europe, which we do from time to time, I can use these guys. And then just kind of some few miscellaneous bits. I've got 2 3D printed M20s, I believe. Yeah, M20. The M8 is the Greyhound. These are the M20s. So I have 2 of those, and a bunch of Jeeps, again 3D printed, these Jeeps. I have a staff team for an artillery battery, but in version 4 these aren't used or aren't needed. I figured I'd keep it just in case. You never know, they might come back in another version. And then a bunch of small 2-man bases and a 1-man base in front that can be used as spotting teams. Again, at the minute I've got no use for these guys. but I'm just keeping them around just in case. I use this as an objective marker. You see there's a little guy sat there at a table. My Uncle Steve gave me that. Thanks, Steve. So I need a second objective marker. And then I've got a bunch of like spare command teams and bazooka teams. A lot of these are from leftovers from version 3 when you needed a command team for all your units, such as your gun units, your artillery units, your machine gun units, etc. So now in version 4 these aren't needed, but yeah, I keep them around. And some of this stuff I bought some of this army, well, quite a lot of this army actually, second hand. Bought some of it myself, some of it second hand. But some of the second hand stuff that I got was just painted absolutely beautifully. I mean, these two guys here, these two command teams, if I can get a good look at these for you, if it's going to focus. Probably not. But he even painted like the eagle arm patch, the top of the arm there, and on the helmets. See the little white? Yeah, beautiful painting. Again, a couple of those bazooka teams were by the same guy. They're really, really nice. Much better than what I can do. Yeah. Sorry, this phone's not focusing very well. Yeah, that's my Flames of War American Force to date. There's still some more bits and pieces I'd like to add to it going forward. I want the Grasshopper, the aerial observer. I want some anti-aircraft armor. I forget the names, but it's like the quad gun on the back of a half track type thing. Yeah, that is my force. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it, apart from the shaky cam and the not being able to focus. It's my Flames of War force. I want to get some more videos, Flames of War videos for you, and hopefully we'll be doing soon. Me and Thomas were on about having a go at the campaign, the mini campaign that's in this American D-Day book. I think there's 5 missions to play, which includes the beach landings and the airborne drops. So I think that'd be quite fun to have a go at. But yeah, that's my force, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.